one. So we're live right now. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of FBA Central Success Stories. And I am very, very excited to introduce to you our guest for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Sangeeta Sumesh. Hi, Sangeeta. All the way from
Robbie.
India, right?
Yes.
Okay.
A pleasure to be here.
Okay. Now, also, we were talking about, a while back, we were talking about, Sangeeta and I, about COVID. And so, Sangeeta, you were talking about the current situation that you have right now. You're working at home.
That's right. Yeah.
How is it there?
Oh, so firstly, Robbie, before even I get started, I think I must congratulate you for doing this show. And, considering the corona all over, I think it's a good way to reach out to people and connect. So congratulations on hosting this show.
Thank you.
So coming to the situation here, I live in Chennai, which is in the southern part of India. And it's the capital of the state called Tamil Nadu. And starting today, the city is under a lockdown. So yesterday we had a curfew whole of India, and everybody was in the houses. So about 75 to 80 cities in India have been identified where there have been cases or probable cases, and we've been asked to stay indoors, and the city is under a kind of a lockdown starting today, probably till about the 31st of March. So yeah, it's challenging times, I must say.
Yes, actually, right here as well in the Philippines, we're currently in lockdown all over Luzon. But what's good is, well, I think the government is handling it really, really well. We have stable internet, and a lot of people are now shifting to working at home. So we'll see what's next.
Right, absolutely.
And also, so before I ask you my questions, thank you very much. Actually, the reason why I started with the episodes is I really would like to inspire people, just like myself. It took me a long time to pursue my passion, and I really wish that people could bridge the gap. I know that there are people who would like to start pursuing their passion, or they may have long forgotten dreams that they would like to start, but they don't know how to start. And of course, I know some people who've been there. So I'd like to bridge the gap and share stories from people like you, how you started and how you were able to make it. So thank you very, very much for saying yes to my invite.
Pleasure.
All right. So Sangeeta, you were the author of best-selling books, What the Finance and A Glance at the Unknown. You're a chartered accountant. You're a high-performance coach. Wow, the list goes on. You're recognized as 100 inspiring authors of India for A Glance at the Unknown. Now, how did you get to where you are right now? What is the biggest factor that helped you into becoming successful?
Right. So, I mean, firstly, I honestly think it's God's grace that, I was able to do it, because none of this was something I had even planned. Like, probably if you had met me, say 3-4 years ago, and you had asked me if I had plans to write an author or book, I would have said no, absolutely nothing, because that was never in my bucket list. Similarly, even to be a coach, so I had never thought of all this. It was all by, I don't know, accident, by chance, or by God's grace that it all happened. And I'm grateful that it happened. So, the awards and the best-selling, I think they come along with a certain credibility, because I'm also the CFO in a multinational. And like, I'm also a professional speaker. So I've been, addressing large number of people at different occasions on different topics. So there has been a kind of a credibility that, comes along with the name, and then people are able to relate to me, to what I say. So I think probably those were the little factors that played along to my advantage.
Oh, I see.
But none of it was planned, especially to author books and to be a coach was never really something that I had planned off. And I must also, I take joy in sharing with you that my third book has also come out. It's an audio book. It's available on Audible. It's a free download, and it's called The Power of High Performance Coaching.
Oh, I'm definitely going to check that out. It's available in Audible.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So maybe after the session, I am going to look for that link, or maybe you could give me a link, and I could put it on the comment section of this interview.
Absolutely, sure thing.
All right. Now we all know that you're a high performance coach, and you're high performance coach, and you're also an author of now 3 books. Do you have any success habits or mantras or ideas that you live by?
A couple of things I think has worked very well for me. So firstly, I'm into art of living. So it's simple breathing exercises that I practice every day. I have been into it for the last about 15 years. And I think that's been a game changer in my life, because I can see the total transformation that has happened. So simple breathing techniques that, I focus on for about 15 minutes a day, and then I meditate. I love to meditate. So I sit in meditation after that, and I feel that's when, the creative juice gets onto my head. So that is one thing. And apart from that, I like to be productive. I don't like to waste my time. My mantra is I should do something that is enriching either me or people around me. So I don't like to just sit and, laze around and waste my time. Like, I've stopped watching television. I used to be a big TV addict many years ago. And then I realized it's pretty time consuming, actually. So I said, okay, the best way is to cut it out. So I try to see whatever activities that I'm doing, how is it benefiting me or the people around me, so that, it's being more productive, and you're able to contribute to your growth, or the people around you, their growth. So I think that way it is good. And that's also driven me to become a high performance coach, because I think if you have to be a high performer, you must know how to utilize your time wisely, and keep improving yourself. So that is why I have chosen my niche as high performance, so that you keep improving yourself, you become a better version of your own self. So I think if you're able to focus on things like that, you just tend to grow and get better at whatever you're doing. So like simple things, now, like, there is this corona crisis that's going on. So I've been trying to educate people. So I shot a couple of videos over the weekend to see, how the business health can improve. Because now everybody's taking care of themselves. But then, like, what about businesses? What can businesses do to, it is a crisis. So, but we'll have to overcome it. And once it's done, how our business is going to cope, so what are the things that they could do now? So things like that, tips and tricks, is what I like to share and make people think and see how they can grow in their individual sphere.
Right. That is very, very productive. So I guess even right now during the corona outbreak, you're still keeping yourself productive, right? Still working, yes, even when you're at home?
Yep. Yeah, I am working from home. Definitely, yes.
Now, also, since you're very successful right now, did you ever make any mistakes when you were starting out, when you were writing your book, or when you were starting out as a coach? Did you make mistakes along the way? And if ever, how did you rectify these mistakes?
Right. I think, like I said, I never had plans to become an author. So I'll just tell you this small story on how it all happened. And you'll see the link. The thing was, I had been on a family vacation to Cambodia, and we had visited the killing fields in Phnom Penh, the capital, where there was a mass genocide from 1970 to 74. So even now, if you walk in the killing fields, you'll find pieces of bones and nails, and, the story is so barbaric. It really does something to you. There is like a huge tower that's filled with skulls and bones, and, the stories are really barbaric, It just does something to you. So it just set me thinking. I said, what happens if man becomes so cruel, that to innocent people, and butchers them around mercilessly? So I was just left with this thought, and after I came back from Cambodia as well, this thought kept coming back to me, up and down, and it was, and like kind of unknowingly, I had weaved a story in my head. So a little voice told me, why don't you write? Then I said, no, I'm not an author. I don't know how to write. Who's going to read? What will people say? I had all such things, and I put aside. I said, no, I don't want to write. And what was stopping me? Fear. So I really didn't want to do it. I didn't know how to handle it. But then even after a year that I came back from Cambodia, this was there in my head. And luckily I chanced upon a 100-day book authoring challenge. And I said, okay, let me give it a shot. So I remember I completed the book, and at the launch, I had a lot of butterflies in my stomach. I didn't know what people would say after reading it. And I was really unsure. And even at that time, I was like, do I just pull it out and stuff like that? But luckily, I went ahead. And like you said, the book won me the award. And then when I started telling people I've written a book, people assumed it was a finance book because I've been a finance professional for about 25 years. So I had to come up with my second book. It's called What's the Finance? And that's become a bestseller. So the biggest thing that I learned in this journey is fear. If you're really worried and scared, you can't really progress. So fear is something that you'll have to tackle. You'll have to come out of fear, because it probably doesn't help you in your growth. I mean, if it works well, it works well. But if not, it's fine. So you don't have to really be worried about fear, is what I would say. And then the second learning that I had was, like I said, I am a coach. A high performance coach. So I was initially, when I started my coaching journey, I was coaching a lot of individuals on their different spheres. And then on the other hand, I realized I'm a finance professional helping businesses grow. So, I realized that I could actually merge the two. And then therefore I realized I'm actually a business coach. I'm a good business coach because I have the experience, and then I have the coaching expertise as well. So if I merge the two, the product is amazing, because that becomes like my USP, a unique selling point as well, where I have experience, knowledge, and the expertise. So for me to realize this, took me some time. So I think you need to put in some bit of effort to see how you can integrate all your key areas and skills, so that what you bring to the table becomes really unique, and you become a master in what you're doing. So that took me some time. So I think it would be good if people can think through, each one is special, each one is unique, to see how they can come about doing it. And the third thing that I have learned during this journey is not marketing your own self enough. Because initially when I started, I was rather shy. I was shy to speak about the coach service offerings that I had, and how I could integrate with finance on my background. So I was a little shy and a little reluctant to speak up about what I could actually offer, and how I can help businesses to turn around, and how I can help people to improve and become better versions of themselves. So it took me some time. So if you're somebody who's just starting off, who's identified their niche, and who has a plan ahead and a path ahead, do not delay things. I mean, just get started. See how you can talk about your services. You don't have to brag about it, but you can always see how you can market yourself better, how you can help people come out of their situations and other things. So these are the three things that I think will be good learnings for others to follow.
All right. And since you're a high performance coach, since you're a coach, you've already met a lot of people, you've already coached a lot of people. What do you think is the most important quality that a person needs in order for them to succeed, if there is only one quality?
The quality would be discipline. Because once you have the discipline to, whatever thing that you want, either to control your mind, to step aside from distractions, or, get into the discipline of practicing something, making something a habit. So discipline is what I think gets a person to grow and to develop. So, even things like to step out of your comfort zone. everybody is happy within their comfort zone. But then for you to take that big leap outside your comfort zone, you need to have discipline for that as well. So I think discipline is a key ingredient if you want to succeed in whatever walk of life that you want. So that's what I would have to say on that.
All right. Actually, I have two more questions before I end. And this one is very important because March is Women's Month, right? And my question is, you're a very successful woman. Now, were there any hindrances, or did you find it hard, especially to succeed? You're also in the business world, right? You wrote What the Finance, and I'm actually halfway through. It's a really great book, and it actually made finance very, very easy. I used to be afraid of finance and math, but when I was reading the book, I was really, really shocked. This is so easy. And you being in it's really good. Now, you being in finance and in business, did you find it hard being a woman to succeed or to get ahead?
Right. So what I always say, thanks to my parents for their upbringing, I never thought gender was an issue. Yeah, and during my growing up years, gender was not something that was spoken about as much, as widely as it is now. So it was, in a way, ignorance is bliss. So end of the day, to me, it was all like whether I, as an individual, am capable of achieving something or not. So all my focus was there, can I do this? Can I not? Yeah, but is it something I want to do or not? And if I want to do, how can I improve? How do I upskill myself? How do I ensure that I'm able to overcome the challenges and achieve what I want to achieve? So I think that way, as an individual, I've been very self-driven and self-motivated, and always wanting to grow further as an individual. So I think those traits is what has helped me. And as I said, I have been quite ignorant during my, initial days of career that, it's a woman, you can do this, you cannot. So gender was something that I had never thought of, until quite recently. I mean, recently in the sense, like probably like 5 to 10 years back is when even I started getting the awareness. But it was more the my individual skills and strengths that I could bring to the table. So I would always go by my individual capacity and capabilities. So I think in a way, if you could set aside gender and just see how you can improve yourself, how you can, add value to whatever you're doing, I think gender then tends to take a back seat.
All right. Such wonderful answers. Very, very inspiring. Thank you very, very much. Now, I have just one more. It's not a question. It's rather, what is your message to people who are just starting out, or those who want to pursue their passion and aim for success, but don't know where to begin?
Right. So I think firstly, you need to acknowledge and understand that you don't have to underestimate yourself. You never know what you're capable of. So unless you try it and test it, you don't know. So there's nothing wrong. So firstly, go ahead and, just try it. Don't underestimate yourself. Give it your 100%. Do your best, and things will automatically follow. So that's number one. Number two, put the fear of failure aside, because fear of failure is something that, eats all our talent, and this fear doesn't help in our growth and contribution. If at all you fail, that's fine. I mean, that's all right. And then you move on. So put the failure aside, and then you keep growing. Just see how you can better what you've done before, and, as I said, keep improving and keep getting better at whatever you're doing. So the second is to put the fear of failure aside. And the last I would say is learn to take criticism in your stride. I mean, I would say you can't please 100% of the people all the time, right? So there will be people who like you, who love you for the work that you're doing and think that you're doing an awesome stuff. On the other side, there will be critics there, because we are not here to please everybody. So as long as you're able to, do a good job, firstly, feel happy and satisfied about your own self and the things that you're able to do, I think that's a good step. And then comes if, the larger circle, if there are majority of the people, or, even few people are happy with what you're doing, that's good. Critics will always be there. People will always say stuff, but that's fine. I mean, just hear it. If it helps you to improve, well and good. If not, just leave it aside and keep continuing to do the good job that you're doing.
All right. Thank you very, very much for those wonderful messages, Sanjita. Again, for everyone who are watching and for those who will be watching the replay, thank you very, very much. Again, thank you, Sanjita, for saying yes to this very short interview. We have been so blessed by your story and your message. So stay tuned, everyone, for the next FVA success stories. See you again. Bye, Sanjita.
Thank you, Robbie. Nice connecting with you again, and keep up the good work that you're doing.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.